Everyone knows that the fish feel at home on Coastline. And that's how the cavalry succumbed to the boys from the village in the last meeting between the teams in the BR6, which made it clear that the business of the underdog is only from the server out.
Esse litoral contra a Liquid foi jogo que a gente estava muito tranquilo, a gente sabia que a gente ia ser o underdog, a gente aproveitou muito bem, né, para poder lidar com a Liquid nesse Liquid litoral. Foi um jogo muito bom pra gente.
A gente acabou jogando mal, acabou demorando para entrar um pouco no jogo e eles acabaram jogando melhor, tiveram um desempenho melhor ali na hora e acabaram engolindo a gente.
But Nesk was a bit generous when he said the team was swallowed by Santos, since Team Liquid was defeated 8-7. The truth is that the respect is great on both sides, so much so that the players in today's game did not spare any compliments to each other.
Cara, acho que a gente tem que ficar de olho no Stroker, né? Ele é um pouco loucão jogando assim, meio psicopata. Tenta fazer umas plays inesperadas, acho que a gente tem que ficar de olho nele, porque se deixar, ele pega uma brecha ali e acaba arrebentando a gente.
O Neskão, né? O Neskão sempre muito bravo, tem que ficar de olho nele. Ele é o jogador mais ativo ali do time deles, sempre vai tentar buscar uma brecha, então ele é o jogador mais... a gente pode esperar uma surpresa dele no meio do jogo.
Be that as it may, the Fish don't have much to celebrate in this Brazilian championship. On the other hand, even with the recent changes in their lineup, the Cavalry continued as one of the best teams in Brazil, now adding an air of unpredictability.
Não sei, a Liquid teme sempre a jogar o jogo deles bonitinho, mesmo eles tendo já a pontuação para poder classificar para Elite Six. Então acho que vai ser um jogo mais leve para eles. Isso sim, eles podem agressivar um pouco mais, a gente vai ter que ficar de olho.
What's ahead? A luxurious training session for the Cavalry, or another clash full of twists and turns in favor of the Fish? This is what you can see from now on in the battle between Santos Esports and Team Liquid.
We spoke earlier about how players don't like to be in that spot where things are out of their control and another team winning or losing could decide their fate. But Ollie, does Santos really want to be in this position right now, where if they don't get the full 3 points, they're going to be facing a relegation match?
Probably not. I'll be honest with you. It's one of those that I think there's going to be quite a few eyes on. W7M will certainly be tuned. So welcome, guys. This is what the show looks like when you're not playing. And I think that they're going to be keeping a keen eye on just how exactly the game is going to unfold. Obviously, Santos, their destiny is in their own hands at the moment, but they're going up against Liquid, and it is never the easiest game. I think we'll flick the standings on just so that we can demonstrate this a little bit easier at the moment. But if we look toward the bottom of the table, 9th place spot currently, W7M. So if everything stopped now, they'd be safe. But everything doesn't stop now. There is another game to play, and it just so happens that it's Santos against Liquid. 2nd versus 10th. Now, it might sound like a massive mountain to climb, but last time Liquid and Santos played each other, Santos actually won. So it is well worth sticking around and watching, because there is a big chance here that Santos are able to fight back, get the win, get those points that they need to actually overtake W7M once again and plunge W7M instead into that relegation spot.
It feels like every time we have Santos play, we always mention the fact that they don't feel stressed against big teams because they're coming in as the underdogs. The problem is now, Demo, when you're coming against Team Liquid and you're in a relegation battle at this point, if you don't win this game, you could potentially end up going down and out of the BR6. There should be a little bit of pressure, I think it's fair to say.
There should be an immense amount of pressure on Santos right now. Keep in mind, they have to win clean against Liquid. No overtime. Overtime, they're done. So they have to go in and they have to get 3 points tonight, or else that's their dream's gone. So much pressure on them. And unfortunately for Santos, they're up against Liquid, who are 2nd place. Already not a good start. But it's also a Liquid who yesterday showed us some real fight and determination. I think that's where we really start to see those seeds that were planted, and now this Liquid is starting to sprout with these new players.
It's going to be an interesting one. Let's take a look over at the map vetoes, see where we're going to be ending up now, because I think this is going to have a big factor on the playstyle. Honestly, Ollie, Liquid obviously going for a bit more of an aggressive playstyle recently. Do you think that's where we could be ending up going to a bit more of a frag-heavy map?
Unsure. It's worth noting and mentioning that this map doesn't really mean anything for Liquid. So whilst it means quite a bit for Santos, Liquid, they can't get 1st place off the back of this. They're not going to lose 2nd place off the back of this result. So it really is just a scrim. It's going through the motions. It's getting ready for the week of games that is coming up. We're going to see Oregon, the map chosen to be played. Cafe left in there. I had an inkling that Liquid wanted to start bringing a bit more Cafe into the picture, because they've not banned it out here. They've been willing to let it go right up until the death. But Santos, they have the decision. They choose to ban Cafe, and we will play out on Oregon instead. Oregon, a map that we've seen a couple of times so far this stage. It hasn't been all too common. Liquid are the team with the more impressive win record on this map, but they've only played it twice this stage. And of course, we've moving into that new stage of Liquid where it isn't Sexcake and Moringa, it's instead Ask and Resets. They're the two players that have been brought in and have played the whole stage and have done a great job at it. It is worth mentioning. Ask is currently, I believe, second in terms of highest plants, only one behind Souls now, and actually tied up with GDN, but he's in and amongst the top planters of the stage, and that's exactly what Liquid need, coupled with the fact that he's been putting in a really big performance on the kill feed as well as playing that support role, hard support on attack and defense, but more than capable of getting kills when it counts. It's starting to complement Nesk and Palu, and it's starting to let a little bit of the pressure off those guys.
Well, we've talked about Liquid. I don't think we're really going to have time to talk on Team 1 because the match is about to start. You can see Liquid getting ready to go. Once again, Ollie Demo taken away for the last time of this stage of BR6.
Thank you, Chunks. We move into our last game of Stage 3. What a stage it has been. And for there still to be something on the line at this point as we enter the last game, it's almost as if we couldn't get more. Santos, a chance at them to avoid relegation. To avoid that relegation game that will be taking place on the 5th of December. This is where we decide if it is going to be Santos or if it is going to be W7M. And who could they be going up against other than Team Liquid? It's a massive undertaking, Demo, no matter which way you cut it.
Yeah, and I know that Chunks has said about, oh, Santos are the gatekeepers, you know, they don't struggle against these big sides. They kind of, that whole kind of storyline of, oh, we don't lose to the big teams, oh, we cause upsets against them, kind of went out the window whenever they got 7-1'd by Team 1, I would say, Ollie. That's whenever I think Santos, just a crack shown right up the middle, the crack was there. So that would be the only worry you would have for Santos, is maybe that's not the whole story, is that they do perform well against these big sides. And I mean, Liquid right now, I think they really impressed me yesterday against Team 1. It was a great performance, an all-around great performance. I think Resets, that was probably his best game that we've seen him in a Liquid shirt. Hands down, his best game in a Liquid shirt. So right now it's starting to work. I think we seen yesterday Silence in interview. Very, very happy with how his team performed, and they feel confident. You know, I know you've mentioned about PSK and how this guy hasn't changed his position, hasn't changed how he's playing the game, but he's getting a lot more kills somehow.
It was funny, wasn't it? Silence's eyes almost lit up when I said that, because Silence was like, yeah, he's really, you know, come out of his skin somehow, and he's just feeling it a lot more. And you could see that it was one of those feelings that was kind of difficult to put into words, because it really is just a feeling that PSK's got at the minute, and he is on fire with it. And again, it's something that you've really got to try and keep a keen eye on, because very quickly games can slip, especially with the position that we've seen him play. And he's done some great work already this weekend, from in and around Pillar, in and around Shaiko spot, playing the Jaeger in that role. And I imagine that's exactly what we're going to see here as Liquid start off on the defense, Santos the attack. Already, it's going to be a bit, it's even more difficult, should I say, for Santos, because given what they're going to be going up against here, they've got the mirror windows to contend with. Requires such a very well coordinated push here. Well, they've got the operators to do so. The bans haven't been too restrictive for either side. The Cade ban coming in is kind of to be expected, and a couple of hard breaches available on Santos. You're always going to have a few, but you've arguably got the best two here for the attack.
Heading in to the start of the round, and well, there's a roamer lurking on Freezer stairs, which very quickly decides to run away. Resets, we know, had a massive game, Ollie, of course, in Oregon yesterday, where he had, what, 2 game-changing rounds, 2 life decision rounds for Liquid. So you have to be ready for him. You really do, and oh, looks as if an A's going to be maybe pre-cooked there, but decides to go in and use the Yana clone instead. I mean, that's also something you have to be ready if you're playing in Freezer, is a very quick jiggle peek with a nade is enough to bounce off the back wall behind you and sit right down on the floor next to you. That's you done, so that's the only thing I think Resets has to be wary of, and it doesn't look as if there's an ADS in the position to help him out. So he's playing a little bit more farther back, Ollie, than what he normally would be, but still has some form of control on that Freezer hatch.
We do hear the mirror window there get popped as
drone.
Hunter gets his Twitch drone in and is effective with it. Information available here for Santos. Oh, likewise, on the side of Liquid, they've got information of their own. Nest, these cameras, they're going to be out there. SK just making a little bit of a retreat. A lot of time being spent here from Santos, and they're not really gaining all too much for it. Sure, they've managed to get rid of a mirror window, but essentially just losing drones to gather in little snippets of info. STK to move on through. Nades in hand. Could look to try and pressure here onto Freezer, and the little corridor that leads in. Waiting for a little bit of assistance at the moment. Cons with the rotation as well. Unsure at the call at the moment. It's a Freezer and Laundry, but there's no distraction. There's nothing that's going to give them that big explosive entry that they're going to need here, Demo. They could just be walking into a firing line.
Indeed, and we'll see if Liquid can hold on for the meantime. The thing about this Laundry Freezer take, Ollie, is it is quite easy to set up control of Laundry and Freezer, but actually moving in and going for a plant is a whole different story. SC4 Hunter looks at it and his life flashes before his eyes. And Santos are a man down. What a great shot from STK. Reset should have had that sealed, and STK finds another. However, Liquid still pick up their kills and has stemmed that entire Laundry side. They've eroded them away, and now Santos are panicking in the midst of the site. Hold down to MG and has the LMG, but this is a great crossfire being established by Liquid, and Paulu will finish it off. STK tried his best, Ollie, but his team just could not get past that mirror window in Laundry.
Well, we said that they didn't have much to have an explosive push off the back of. STK was that explosive push, but even that wasn't enough. Even those great swings in onto both Resets and Nesk weren't enough to get the job done there. Palu, I think he picked up 3 kills in that round. He's slowly but surely gravitating towards the Vector. We're seeing him play a lot of Mirror. We're seeing him occasionally play the Goyo. In this instance, it's going to be PSK, but he really does seem to like that weapon. That fast fire rate is perfect for chaining kills together in a way that we know Palu is capable of. He was able to grab 3 in that round. Ask rotated round beautifully as well from Elbow. We didn't see any pressure inside of the bunker, so could just play for as long as he liked inside of Elbow and make the rotation at the right time. Liquid not seeming too pressured there. They had a man advantage at the end as well. Little bit of a one-dimensional approach from Santos, but now we move upstairs, and they've got to try and attack into this top floor instead. Double hard breach being brought, so they could and should really be able to try and push into both attic and into games, but just as though Liquid have actually left a rotation in the games room wall. Now, this is something we saw them do a little bit yesterday, Demo, and it does make it a little bit more difficult to just walk into Master.
Yeah, it does indeed, so a few things that you need to be, of course, careful of. I mean, Oregon is pretty volatile for the most part, Ollie. We do see some quick rounds just appear out of nowhere. You think of double window rushes are always a classic that you might find some teams want to go for, but STK, you can see, very quickly makes his way up in towards Armory, and he does have that established in Santos' control. He'll burn up in a Rooney Gate, and that's going to help now, these nades being tossed in from that deep angle. It's burning through now with a flashbang. Gets rid of the ADS, and another ADS, and is that another one? Yes, they're all 3 ADSs stacked up, and the nade will connect, and does explode that Goyo shield. Good utility dump from Santos. Very, very well done.
Great coordination there as well to get everything done and to not waste any pieces of utility there. Just something to remove the Goyo shield. It should free things up inside a trophy a little bit. It's a close quarters room, that, and you don't want to have a Vulcan shield there that could be detonated at any time. Softwall as well being left from pit looking in through trophy. Opening kill onto Ask as STK is successful here. Ask onto the bulletproof camera that's going to be in trophy. Liquid. These rotations that they've left and the setup that they've done here, it's really slowing down the push. It's almost counterintuitive. You think of unreinforced walls and rotations as easy rites of passage, but no, it's difficult for Santos to actually effectively get in because of Liquid and where they are watching onto it. Palu on the roam down in the basement. Don't want to give a player like Palu this much space, but something that it does do, because Ask got taken out early, it does leave the site a little bit light of defenders.
Smoke grenade will be tossed out, just give Nesk a bit of breathing room. Of course, that wall being opened doesn't make things any easier for him. But we know Nesk, he's a smart enough player, Ollie, and I'm sure he will be able to stall out this round as long as he can. Paulu finds STK, and now it is going to be even. Nesk, I think, eats a nade to the face and has to now fall back and gives up active control, unfortunately, for Liquid. Still in reinforcement. I mean, if they're risky enough, they could have reinforced up Attic if they wanted to, but then again, that does leave you maybe victim of being a quick plant right on the hard wall beside Attic. Paulu will find MGN, and this is now looking very good for Liquid. Santos seem a bit stunned, and with 20 seconds to go, it's going to be difficult for them to really push through and take this round.
Stuns come out now from Hunter. No Lion Scans left, so he's just going to have to try and push in, but he can't. Resets is there to take him down. PSK, the second. Resets picks up 2 of those final 3 kills. Palu, a great lurk and a great roam down in the basement. Picked himself 2 for his troubles, and then the site players were able to do the rest. Resets didn't see any pressure playing inside of bunks. There was nobody from Santos that got themselves onto big window. And again, a bit of a one-dimensional approach. We praised Santos at the start of that round demo for how well they were dealing with utility and for how well their approach seemed to be looking. And then it all just started to peel, and as players got taken out, as the round progressed, everyone just started going their separate ways.
Difficult. Very, very difficult for Santos to break down Liquid. I think that kill below Ollie really swung in favor of Liquid, because then you have that extra man, and in that scenario for Santos, if they're left with 15 seconds, they are just running in blind. And the kills just line up for Liquid as easy as you like. Not a good start for Santos, Ollie. 3 players still yet to get a kill, whereas everyone on Liquid has managed to find at least 1 kill to their names. Paulu, Ollie, already 5 kills. Is this one of his games?
If you're a Santos fan or a Santos player, you're probably hoping not, but it certainly looks like it could be 5-0. The positioning is really what sets Palu aside from the rest. The rotation that he made in the last round, I went on about it, but I'm going to have to bring it up again. Beautiful stuff. There's nobody that expects him to be there, and all he needs is a little bit of space, and he can cause so many problems for the opposing side. That's what we saw in the previous round. Santos needs to screw their heads on here. They don't want to let this one get too far away from them. Sure, they are on the attack. But they need to start picking up some rounds, and the offsite is the perfect place to do just that. Attacking into the meeting, probably one of the better chances that they're going to have it around here, Demo.
Yes, indeed. Let's see how Santos are going to focus on this big tower tape that they've got themselves into. SDK seems as if he's just trying to get up to his old tricks and try and sneak in and crouch walk into whatever avenue he can. Very similar to how he played against FaZe Clan in the first week. I'm sure you remember Ollie, the guy was just everywhere and anywhere, and it was causing a lot of issues for FaZe. I think finished on 17, 18 kills, something like that during that matchup. So certainly a player who we have to keep our eyes on and can cause issues for Liquid as we head in towards that mid stage. He's very good at picking up a kill here or there and really starts to shake the defense in all sorts of ways.
MGN going to hop his way out of Big Tower and see if he can look to assist his team elsewhere. Yesterday when we saw Liquid playing this map, they did a great job of keeping control of the attic. The site got opened up and it was just one of those unfortunate things. PSK tries to play deep from in near flags behind the sandbags. He's got the DMR, he's got a reasonable chance of keeping people at bay, but it isn't as effective as you maybe would like. It's the best option that he's got, though. But the biggest player is going to be Resets upstairs, and that's somebody that you need to try and deal with. Now, Rise and MGN, they've gone for a little bit more of a direct approach, and they've actually taken on into Kitchen. MGN with the LMG is making it sing, Demo. 5 versus 2 as the plant goes down.
Yeah, great work from Santos. Just sheer force is enough to overpower the Liquid defense. And yeah, Liquid get absolutely swept. That was a bomb site we seen played yesterday by Liquid, which worked out really well for them. We know Resets in that attic just commanded how that round was going to shape up, but I think Santos, quite rightly so, have looked at how Liquid played Oregon yesterday, and they've adapted. They targeted the kitchen, a weakness now that we've been able to find in the armor of Liquid, and yeah, they've really took them for all they're worth there. 2-1, Santos back in it.
It's a nice adaptation there from Santos. They've really paid a lot of attention to what happened yesterday because the meeting was just impossible to get anywhere near. You could not get near the meeting. Resets upstairs in the attic, as you say, Demo, commanded that space, and he really dominated. But as soon as you switch things up and you go for the kitchen instead, it's not quite a freebie, but off the back of a couple of kills, it really starts to open it up. Santos, they picked around. It's a start, but they need more. They need to try and find some success elsewhere. Going back downstairs into Laundry, it's going to be the same the same setup that Liquid showed us in round number 1. Mirror windows played inside of small box and looking into freezer. Time was a big problem from Santos previously. Just a willingness to wait as late as possible to make that push through. I'd really like to see a little bit of control of Elbow this time, Demo.
Elbow is a very pivotal area, as we know. Whenever teams do want to go for the blue and kind of pillar take, it's all about elbow control. That is the main issue that a lot of attackers run into. I think Santos still are all for going for Laundry Freezer. That is really the only thing they're interested in at the moment. That has been a bit of a meta shift. I think teams are starting to move away from just every single round taking control of Elbow. They're all about now getting into Laundry Freezer, which is, I mean, a little bit strange, Ollie, considering that Mira is up and Mira puts both of her windows, one looking into Freezer and one looking into Laundry. But with Santos bringing a Twitch, that hasn't really been an issue for them.
Just give me an electric hatch drop. Give me a meeting hatch drop. That's all I want. Get yourself into electrical and start to work through that way. Give us some old-fashioned takes here, because with the way that Santos are approaching it, okay, the mirror windows are probably going to get dealt with. They're probably going to get shock droned if we're not really keeping our eyes out for them. You know, we could see Liquid playing a mute here and try and counter that, but I think even if the mirror does get open, they're kind of happy to have something to peek from. They like being a little bit aggressive. It gives them a bit more of an option, and it certainly throws some doubt into the minds of the Santos players. You can see lots of utility getting pinged out already. Valkyrie cameras being spotted, mirror windows being targeted. STK can't rely on being able to repeat the same success he had in the previous round, getting those 2 entries. And that's what I worry for Santos in this round.
So already half the round gone. Wonder if PSK will make a big splash. Right now, not really providing much for his team. Maybe in the late game he can really strike. So Santos have now decided to rotate over towards blue and elbow, but with a minute to go, they're cutting this very, very fine, Ollie, and with PSK still right above them, I think he might have a big thing to say inside of this round, because there's no way Santos have checked Big Tower, and they have no idea that Jaeger is positioned up there. With 50 seconds to go, they're only starting to clear utility, Ollie. They are going to run out of time, and they will struggle. Mark my words.
Very true. Liquid have been able to reposition now, and they've got themselves into more favourable locations. Resets inside of Harry Potter does take down the Twitch drone. He's going to get pushed from the stairs or from bunker doorway. It's going to be one or the other. No one really there to assist. PSK is going to be all the way up above. Is able to find one, make it 2 as PSK comes in huge as you foresaw, Demo. Ask, he's able to shut down cons before STK grabs one back. Nesk down for the count. STK 1 health and a dream. Ask picks up the final 2 there as a player already finished off. Only a couple of bullets required for STK.
Yeah, Liquid played that very well. course, the Jaeger flank, it is always going to make an impact, but Santos, you have to make up your mind. If you're starting off in Laundry and Freezer, you have to commit to it. You just don't have time to go for these rotates and attempting to push blue with such little time, Ollie. And I think that's shown full, just a full example of why you have to commit to one. You can't try and do both. It just takes too much time and too much utility. I mean, Oregon is still a fairly decently sized map, Ollie. You know, we're not dealing with like a coastline, for example. Oregon is quite big. There is a lot of layers to it.
I think it's hard to traverse. That's the biggest thing, isn't it? You know, it isn't really massive, but it's difficult to get from one side to, like, you think about getting from Freezer to sort of Bunker. It's a bit of a problem journey, that, isn't it? You're around the houses. You've not got a motorway you can just hop on. It's not like you can just jump onto the roof, scoot over the top, and bang, you there, first junction. You really got to go around the houses, so I think that's maybe where Santos just fell foul. It looked as though they were trying to do just too many things, and again, time got the better of them. Liquid back upstairs now. Storms. This was where they were successful previously. Gone for a very similar strategy and leaving quite a lot of things open here. And again, around where Santos just ran out of time.
Yeah, indeed. Time playing against Santos, and definitely giving Liquid now a bit of momentum. Liquid still have 2 more rounds on the defense. And if anything that we've seen yesterday is to go off, is that, I mean, Liquid were able to take 4 defenses, Ollie, in their game against Team 1, so I would expect nothing less from Team Liquid to get 4 defenses, and this is a good chance for them. It will be upstairs in towards that kid's bedroom. And again, this was a bit of a time management situation from Santos. This is where they struggled again with time. In terms of kills, STK is trying his best, Ollie, but his team just aren't there at the moment. Hunter, he's had a very rough weekend, we have to say. Has not been performing as well as what we've seen from him during, you know, the first week, moving in towards your second, third, and fourth weeks. I don't know what's happened to the guy.
Inconsistencies, I think, running deep here on Santos. It's a problem that's plagued them throughout the course. All 3 stages. Really being any difference here here inside of stage 3. Good to see them pressuring this big window this time. This was somewhere that we commented on. They hadn't got any pressure in the previous round number 2, when we last saw this site. As such, Resets was allowed to play pretty much exactly where this drone is right now, and he was able to pick up 2 of the final 3 kills as the round concluded. That isn't going to be a factor here. Santos have mixed things up, gone for this slightly more 2-dimensional approach. They're now looking to pressure onto the vertical as well. I don't think they've gone into trophy at the moment. Instead, it's a much more west side focused push.
Feels like it's only a matter of time before Santos really start to struggle with how diverse Liquid can play, but that is a great swing. STK utilizing the information I think being fed by the 0 cams, and MGN will find another. Liquid have been stunned with 2 quick kills coming in from Santos, and now this leaves the remaining players of Liquid in quite the predicament. PSK holding on to big window. We're seeing, of course, that smoke inside of Attic. That's no surprise. But they have gave Ness quite a lot of room to really work with at the moment. If they're not pressuring Attic as much as what we probably would like them to, they will start to struggle. If this is going to be just a white stairs take, this is where smoke becomes an animal.
Really does. No touch of Babe canisters left, but is it going to matter if they all start to line up? Everybody picks a kill, and they're all pulling in the same direction. Hunter and Rise, the last 2 for Santos here. We get a couple of kills fly on through. Hunter downed. Rise 1 versus 1 with PSK pushing into pit. He's got no health to speak of. He gets taken out of action as well. Liquid clutch up there.
Great performance from the 3 remaining players, and Santos, it's a take that just, it was destined to fall. It just was never going to work. Jumping in double window and pushing white stairs with nothing. You didn't gain control of Attic. They had full range on the main breach. Santos are almost relying on Liquid to slip up in a lot of these scenarios, Ollie. But that's not the way to play Siege against Liquid. Liquid are not going to give you anything. We know how strict this team can be. We know how disciplined they are. You cannot rely on Liquid making mistakes because it's very rare to see them make any.
No, Liquid will give you a headache, and that's about all you'll get from them for free. They will not give up anything too easily. Now, Liquid have got a bit of a problem to solve here, though, Demo. All isn't lost. Still potential for a 4-2. Because Santos were able to win this round. They were able to win this site when we saw it last in round number 3. Their push, you might ask, they targeted the kitchen very heavily. They didn't try and clear that roam game. They didn't try and take control of Attic. Instead, they were laser focused on getting a couple of openings in and around kitchen. And that is where they fought. That is where they really tried to push. So, chance here for Santos to redeem themselves. Chance for them to get around. And honestly, they really need it. Even though they're going on to the defense, they still need everything they can get out of this phase.
So last time, this was the only round that Santos had success on, was winning inside of the kitchen and dining. Or should I say kitchen and meeting. It's actually going to be the more fourth pick bombs like that we see, but definitely a favorite by Liquid. And Santos won it simply by exploiting the lack of awareness for the kitchen players, realistically. Liquid are great at holding onto Attic and holding upstairs in towards kids, and they really don't let you have any control of that meeting whatsoever. But Santos were able to go ahead and what? Did you see that drone? Or am I seeing things? Am I seeing things?
I didn't see it, sorry.
What have I just seen? I don't know. I'll have to come back. I don't know what I just seen. But anyway, yeah. But like I was saying, they were able to exploit the kitchen weaknesses inside of Liquid. So I don't think Liquid will let them get away with it again. Liquid will not, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Liquid are not going to, of course, let that happen. So I think Santos will probably know that a quick kitchen attack isn't going to work for them. So instead, they will resort to taking in towards Big Tower, opening up that meeting breach. So that is open, but then this is where Liquid want them to push. They want them to go for this side.
Santos still got this wall open previously. It was almost like they were playing into that. Yeah, we'll push a meeting, don't worry, and then we're going to debate and we're going to push kitchen last second. They seem very concerned about the hatch inside a meeting, though. The player below that's going to be watching for any rotations, anyone that's looking to maybe throw a C4 up through the hatch, would be about to see a meeting-sided push, which would be weird given what has worked in the past. Santos needs to start acting quickly, otherwise they are going to start running out of time. And Jen lights Nesk up, but unable to land the finishing blow. Con's going to be the first player to fall as DMR at range does the damage from BSK. Rise comes back with a nade. Pressure is now being mounted in toward the kitchen. The diffuser cold at the rear stage stairs. Ask still able to hold on inside the kitchen. 3 Toxic Babe canisters left. BSK player to fall. Palu in there with direct trade. Can make a rotation back downstairs as SDK tries to push into flags, but is immediately shut down by Nesk. Palu again picks another up. He's only trying to get back to the site, and he's falling over kills left and right. MGN pushing into the kitchen. Toxic Babe canister puts him between the rock and a hard place, and he eventually pushes into Ask's SMG.
That's where Liquid want you. They want you to push in towards that meeting. And they will pick you limb by limb. 5-1 from Liquid Ollie. Very, very impressive. And Santos, not looking good. W7M, biggest Liquid fans in the world right now, do you think?
I reckon they're buying the jerseys as we speak.
Is that disrespect to
Probably
Jenna, maybe? What do we think?
No, I don't think so. I
haven't
think
seen
in
Jenna
this
tweet
moment,
about Liquid in ages. I don't know where she's been.
You're trying to bait the tweet out?
No.
She's probably listening. So you're probably trying to bait the tweet out there. Yeah, I think that W7M are probably buying the jersey, buying the ace skin, you know, just doing everything they can. It's a sorry way to go. It really is.
It is.
It's not all done, you know. There's still rounds yet to be played. There is still a result that needs to be locked in here. But given what we've seen, 5-1 half from Liquid looks pretty scary.
Liquid's lineup, Ollie. We see the 6 nades come in, which has been a common feature. Again, Finka. I'm not even going to mention Fink anymore. I think it's just, yeah, that's the meta now. That's what everyone should be used to.
I think you should just leave it. Not a fan? Not a fan. I think we've maybe lost demo to that horrible fun. But it was worth it. It was honestly worth it. Oh, did you just have to mute yourself because you were laughing so hard?
You
That's all right,
never
no
cease to amaze me. You never cease. Anywho, let's move on now as Liquid will begin their takeover off this top floor. They're going to move in towards Small Tower and push in towards the west side. We do see some roamers, Ollie, but not too heavy. It's mostly lingering on staircases so they can easily rotate down the stairs if needed. But knowing Liquid, I mean, they have plenty of nades. I think they could really make a laundry freezer take work, especially whenever there is no Mira on the side of Santos. I look at it and think, oh, it's free real estate.
Certainly is the potential. We could be seeing a bit more of a rush round demonstrated here as we got the Honor Clone charging down through. Nesk just trying to gather as much information as possible. Match is going to be opened here into Laundry as well. Early progress from Liquid. Strange to see the mute jammer not placed up on high there to deny that from being open. I understand that Maverick's available, but still it would just be a nice little thing to slow down asking opening up that hatch.
Half the round to go still. Positioning is off. Santos are pretty safe. Nobody really in a difficult position, you would say, Ollie. I think everyone's playing fairly safe. Just looks as if maybe STK a little bit fidgety on site, maybe. Looking for these swings onto those open holes. The only position I think Liquid need to worry about is, I believe, where the mute is. And I think that's just tucked in behind the bomb chassis inside the laundry. So he's stuck there, essentially. He will not be moving. So the only worry he has is if a nade rolls in and connects to him, he will be gone.
Nesk starting to push his way down Freezer. Still got 2 nades in pocket and information. He knows where SDK is. He's got a Z ping onto the Malusi. Babe canisters now being expended. 45-second mark. A nade. Oh, sorry, a C4 comes through from STK and shuts Nesk down. The 2 nades that they were looking to pressure in from Freezer with are no longer going to be a factor, but they do have 4 more. Palu, he is in there along with resets. Ask, trying to make something happen here. They need to be careful of those toxic babe canisters if they're going to be finger stimmed. As we all know, you're taking increased damage. Palu goes for the swing, but is immediately shut down. MGM picks off resets as well. This could be around here for Santos. 15 seconds. Ask to make his way in. PSK, they're both pushing from the same direction. PSK finds himself one to save it from being a flawless round, but it will still go to Santos.
Nobody's getting in laundry today. Santos holding it firm, and surprising to see Liquid struggle considering no Mira on the board. I think Liquid just struggling with the nade placements. We didn't see a single nade kill. I mean, if you're bringing 6 nades, Ollie, you need to make them work. And it just didn't happen for them on that round. Thankfully, though, for Liquid, they don't have to worry about attacking that basement for the next 2 rounds. And that could be all they need. Liquid all he needs 2 rounds and the game is over. Santos heading upstairs. Valkyrie makes an appearance now. This is where the information can be very strong. Interesting that Liquid have really adapted to that change, and now they will be bringing the IQ into the lineup, immediately fearing that there could be some Valkyrie cameras to cause them issues. And also Flores makes an appearance.
We haven't really seen a lot of Flores today. Back it, especially for top floor. You've got a couple of shields that you want to remove. ADSs as well at a push, but still going to be on the list. We'll see. Are Liquid going to be able to start picking up some rounds somewhere here on the attack? I'll be honest, they didn't look too close there in that previous one. Need to figure out that push. I'm not a big fan of the laundry freezer push. I think I've just seen NIP fail at it too many times over the years because they've like tried to force that from like stage 1. And it's always been a little bit of a meme that it's never really worked out. Really is one of those for the attackers that I just think, I much prefer the bunker push down rear stage. So maybe it's just something that's on trend at the moment. These teams are just a little bit too hell-bent on making it work, but at least we're not going to see it this time. See a slightly different approach. We instead see an IQ scanner lighting up.
Liquid primarily trying to take in towards bedroom and armory primarily, and they're not really interested in going for attic, and I suppose that's probably because they don't have a Maverick in this scenario, so a single mute jammer would deny them access anyway to attic. Oh, Hunter, that is a cheeky peek, and Paulu goes down. Very risky, of course, he is the Echo, and we know how valuable those Echo drones can be in those final dying seconds of a round. Wall will be opened up now. Anyone gonna go for a swing? Nope. Valkyrie just moves out of the way in time. So Liquid, they've lost a man, but they have got the breach open, so it's not a bad trade-off, but of course they would still have liked to have been in a 5v5 resets. Using the Flores drones. Let's be careful though, the mute jammers are a massive counter. Spawn out an Echo drone there as well. I wonder what they have in store. Are they using Flores drones to destroy the Echo drones? Is that their idea? It looked to be the case, Ollie. Brilliant stuff from Liquid.
Liquid really getting quite resourceful there. Ask down the mute jammer. But still try and push on in. Really struggling for information. The mute jammers are really slowing them down. Surely that is now free. Yep, the drone can continue to move. Still a minute for Liquid to try and figure out a plan here. PSK going to hop himself out. Get up onto the roof as Nesk has rotated round to the big window and shuts down Cons. Nade thrown from below is a possibility, but with the white window, the bottom of the white window being closed, there's no point in opening it necessarily. Could give the game away. Nesk instead going to look to try and hold an angle in onto kitchen. Nade being cooked now just for the doorway. Isn't going to be successful. At least didn't hear the explosion from it. Nesk instead turning his attention to that bunks area. Ask aggressively pushing on through along with resets as they're going back to back. Rise shuts PSK down. Ask doesn't have the information. Caught out in no man's land. Nesk has to hop on through now and try and make something happen. 2 versus 2 as Resets picks the diffuser up, goes for the plant, but the Yokai drone could be in position, slowing down. We see it move through as Nesk is the next to fall. Resets, he's stopped off the plant from the Yokai. 7 seconds, has to try and push on through. Will reattempt the plant, but is not going to be given the time to do so. Eventually meets his demise. MGN shuts him down. He had live ping information. He had a clue. He had an idea, and he got the shot.
Very, very close round, Ollie. My word. Santos winning it down to the Echo drones, essentially. So a couple of things to really dig into that round. So I think the Echo is the main highlight. Echo caused so many issues for Liquid. I like the fact that whenever things were not working for Santos and they knew that breaches were being opened and Liquid were starting to get in picks, they rotated the Echo downstairs in a safe position. They didn't leave him in sight, so he can utilize the Echo drone he still had alive. And that was the game changer. The Echo drone put pressure on Nesk. We've seen that an Echo drone was stunning out the diffuser. And Nesk was kind of panicking, wasn't he, Ollie? He was looking around, seeing if he could find the Echo drone. And that gave Jaeger the opportunity to slip in and win that easy gunfight. And of course, Echo, in the final seconds, denies that plant. So yeah, all credit to Santos. I love the fact that they rotated the Echo downstairs and they protected him as much as they could.
Is this the start of the comeback? Are we to anticipate for 6-6 overtime? Do we need to put another pot of coffee on Demo? Or do you think the Liquid are going to be able to claw it back as we approach the off-site? This is where Santos saw success on the attack. It may be where we see Liquid see some success as well. So far they've been shut out of their previous 2 attacking attempts. Seeing a little bit of a change in the lineup come through. PSK opting for the Dokkaebi. Maybe going to try and clear out that roam game a little bit firmer. Obviously, brings the stuns instead of the smokes, I believe. So, not necessarily to assist the plant in going down.
Just waiting to
Can't
see.
really fathom the choice.
I mean, I'm just waiting to see how Liquid actually want to play some of their entries. I would imagine that they'll try and get in towards upstairs. Reset straight away with the LMG is already in a good position to actually aggro. You see Paulu now also coming over to help them. So it looks as if Liquid are really going to try and go for a minimalistic take where they're only interested in big tower and attic. And they'll just simply try and burn utility, burn smoke grenades, any C4s, and just try and get an easy plant down. I mean, they're in a good position. If Reset's even, you know, he has the stuns, why not maybe try and push up even further and take these engagements, because the opening pick can be massive for Liquid in this kind of bomb site where it is a big area that you have to defend, Ollie, a very big bomb site, and if you don't have the numbers to really hold every angle, you will struggle from a defender's perspective.
It's almost as if Liquid are trying to attack it as they know it works for them defending it. That worked initially. STK grabs the opener over onto Resets, but Liquid are there with fight back. They shut down both STK and Hunter. Pace dissipates for a time being. Rise still going to be playing inside of meeting. Liquid nowhere closer to actually getting the plant down. The wall's still electrified.
I think they got
Not even going to be able to get that open necessarily. I think the vertical angle has been found.
Yep.
The electric bandit, sorry, can now be dealt. Still a job to do and a plant to be made and a push that needs to happen here. Liquid, they haven't got a lot of time to try and figure this out. Toxic Babe canisters are going to start to come out now from Rise. As he paces them correctly, he can cut off a lot of this round. PSK has to try and make something happen from below. And that's his job. Logic Bomb phone call to give the game away as nades are now prepared. Palu shuts down MGN, hops himself into Attic, looking to affect on from above, lands his shots over onto Rise. No more Toxic Babe canisters available now, and it's all down to Cons. User is being planted, and Cons is getting himself in a rough engagement, but what a shot onto Nesk. It's going to mean nothing, but it was a great spectacle nonetheless. Palu, he swings through, finds the final kill, and that puts Liquid onto a match point.
And sadly, Liquid, with getting at least a single point, no matter how this match ends, you know, Santos can win 8-6, Ollie. Doesn't matter. They do not have enough to be able to catch W7M now, Ollie. So, Santos, it's a rough one. It is very, very rough for them. So, W7M can celebrate now, I suppose, Ollie, but just Santos, they gave it a good chance, but just not good enough.
I think going into this weekend, the odds of W7M being relegated, I believe, were higher than the odds of Santos being relegated. And I think that just shows you what sort of a weekend W7M have had here. They've really, really played quite well to get themselves off that spot. They've been looking like they were going to be in the hot seat for relegation for quite some time now. But they've been able to fight back. They've given it all they can this weekend. Obviously, it relies on a result out of their control, strictly speaking, at the end of things, but they can certainly hang their heads high, knowing that they gave it absolutely everything to be there. I think on Friday, I've just had word from it. On Friday, it was a 92% chance that W7M were going to be relegated, which, I mean, that tells you all you need to know about how they've played this weekend, Demo.
It does indeed. Just a good shift from them. Finally, match still ain't over yet. This is where Liquid again can gain this confidence that we know they have a big week ahead of them. Liquid always want to try and make sure that they are at these major events. I'm trying to think back, when was the last time that Liquid missed out on a major event? Let me go find out. I'm gonna go find out. It's looking like... My word, when is it looking like? It seems to be, I think, Pro League Season 10, I want to say? Or, I don't actually know. I think they missed out was at, the time Empire won Pro League in Milan, I think. I don't think they were at that event. I think that was the last one they missed.
Wow.
I want to say. So, yeah.
Oh, what a shot. Palu shuts down STK. That is the go button. That allows him to now move in and start ripping up some of that floor. Resets, shuts MGN down. Hunter in with a refrag onto Nesk. Finds something. But is it going to be enough? Rise. PSK is going to be the next victim as Hunter now looking to challenge onto the bottom of White Stairs. Santos did a good job to stabilize there. A couple of big kills for Liquid straight off the rip, but the site being downstairs in basement, there's a lot of work left to do here. Santos have gone for a really extreme roam game. Hunter is taken down there by Resets, finished off with the knife. Cons and Rise. It is all in their hands. Rise playing inside of flags. He's got the heads up, but he knows that Ask is going to be at the bottom of main. Manages to find the kill. Further levels things up. Resets and Palu now looking to try and close this game out. It's not imperative that they do it here, but it would be a nice scoreline if they were able to. Still, the players from Santos are both pretty split up at the moment. Rise, no C4 in hand, going to make the drop in through Meeting Hat and get himself back down to site. Rejoins with Cons as the remaining 2 Liquid players look to push down Freezer. For in the hands of Cons as the nade pops on through. Not sure if he knows that Palu's actually moved in yet. These players are well into Freezer. Cons is going to find one onto resets. It's all down to Palu and he is unable to execute. Cons picks the final 2 there. Santos hold on.
They do indeed. They drag it out 1 round further, Ollie, but still, there's a lot of work to be done. Liquid having that match point. And that means that the basement, again, is going to be locked out, though, for Santos, Ollie. That's like the only issue. It's been the only bomb site that they've won, the only bomb site that Liquid have struggled with. And now they have to go upstairs again. Last time we seen this round play out, it was, again, another very, very close round for Santos. And they did win it down to the Echo drone. So it's more a question of, will Liquid be able to adapt to some of the changes that maybe they struggled with? The Echo being the primary one, but we're not seeing any Echo this time from Santos. They're not going to be bringing that kind of key to the puzzle that they struggled with upstairs, and see how they want to plan this one out.
Still match point for Liquid. Upstairs we go. See how they want to try and approach this. Liquid's lineup not changed all too much in terms of function. We've got the 0 being brought now by PSK. Being flexed in here, there, and everywhere on the attack. We've seen him on the Dokkaebi. Palu this time on the book as opposed to the sledge. So maybe they want to try and get in below and work a couple of those vertical angles, or some of these defenders to make those rotations and make things a little bit easier for themselves if they're going to try and pick them off, especially Ness gets himself onto that big window again. All those things are possible.
Liquid having this Flores again, which we have seen them brought a few times now, and it does help them a lot in terms of clearing out any shields that may be placed inside of Trophy, of course. Mute is always going to be a thing that you need to try and go against. Mute Jammer is the biggest counter, of course, to the Flores rounds. And there will be somebody inside a Trophy trying their best to hold on to that bedroom door. Slow down the opponents. Try and find a pick away some utility, perhaps. But this is all about information from Liquid. Look how many people are just on drones right now. They're trying to find out where Santos are lurking and feeding that information over to their entries.
That's what Liquid do best. Gathering that information in the early part of the round and looking on it. SK's gotten himself in. Argus camera below for the flank watch. It's a great pseudo air jab from a Nomad. Obviously, it's not active. You've got to be on it, but it still gives you something to work from. Ask needs to get himself into position on the hard breach. Mute Jammer is still to be dealt with as well. Something that really noticeably slowed Liquid down last time was the Mute Jammers. It stopped a lot of that drone work dead in its tracks. Resets. Takes the first over onto Hunter.
Good first pick for Liquid, something that they need, and now they do have that breach being open, so it is almost a bit of a... Oh dear. Seems to be a bit of an issue there, as the wall hasn't been exploded, but it is still... Oh dear. Oh dear. Moving on, Paulo has been able to find the refrag, and the MGN goes down, so... Bit of an issue now for Liquid with that breach not being opened up, and Ask is now dead. This really limits their options. They have to now try and walk in through Trophy Ups, in through White, and oh, STK has tried the jump out, but that's actually paid dividends now for Santos. Cons will find one into resets, but Liquid are in the bomb site. Rise has no idea that one man is right beside him inside of Kids. He did manage to find Nest, but now it's still a 1 versus 2. Cons, is he aware? No, he is not. Palu will clean up, and Liquid will take this game. A victory for Liquid. Obviously, commiserations to Santos. Congratulations to W7M and Liquid. That gives them a bit more momentum heading into the week.
Strong game finished out there by Liquid. Good little confidence boost moving into the Copa Elite 6. Starting tomorrow, Palu 17-5. Big performance there from Palu. They really are his kind of numbers. A game that wasn't the longest either. Multiple kills in multiple rounds. Really getting the job done there. Liquid can take home another 3 points. It's not enough to guarantee them the top spot. That has already been gifted over to FaZe. But I'm sure that they're going to be fairly happy with the results as it is. Obviously, bringing in 2 new players for this stage. Still maintaining that second place in the standings. It's something that they can be very proud of indeed. Well, we can see that they are going to move through now into the Copa Elite 6, of which we have still got a little bit lined up for that. We're going to be joining the Brazilian stream on the draw. We're going to bring Chunks back in first before we do and wrap up a little bit of stuff here. But don't go anywhere.
What an exciting way to end the BR6. An amazing matchup. Unfortunately, though, Santos, it just wasn't enough. We knew that they had to get that 3-point win against a squad like Liquid Demo. It is a big task to attempt. So Santos are going to be playing in that relegation match. It's got to suck for them, but at the same time, Liquid being the final winners of the season, that's got to be a big confidence boost for them.